So I know some of you have been having trouble editing this file, and since the finale is coming up quickly, I thought I'd throw together a small video to help you edit your graphic. First thing you need to have installed on your computer is GIMP, which is a free program that you can get at gimp.org. If you don't have Photoshop or Fireworks, that's what you'll need. It's a free program. It doesn't maintain the complete integrity of the graphic, but it does allow you to do pretty much what you need to do. This little icon right here is GIMP, and I'll open that up and I'll show you the basics of walking through editing a file with multiple layers. So I'll use File, Open as Layers. This is important, and I have it on my desktop. Lost Series Finale Boarding Pass Full. Open. And I'm just going to click Assign. And the first thing you'll want to do is get familiar with your workspace. This is your canvas. You have all of your tools on the left, and you also have all of your layers and your layers palette on the right. This may look a bit smaller. You might want to expand it out so that you can read all of the descriptions of the layers. And scroll to the very top. Layers are designed to be one on top of the other. So a layer at the top of the layers palette is going to be in front of everything on the screen, and subsequent it stacks on top of each other. So subsequent layers will be further and further back in the image. So the first thing you want to do is go through the graphic and play with the layers and see what's there and what you can change. First, click the eye right next to the bitmap 1 layer, and it'll remove the welcome message and reveal the design to you. You'll notice some of the graphic elements have changed slightly because of the coloring in GIMP. I am not an expert on this, so I'm not sure why it happens, but it happens. But it still looks good. So at this point, you can see by clicking on layers which elements on the graphic are being highlighted. Here's last name first, flight time, flight to, etc., etc. And you can go through all of these layers and figure out, what is what. And all of these can be removed or hidden, or you can add your own custom layers. One of the other things that GIMP does that Photoshop and Fireworks won't do is it eliminates the ability for you to edit the text that's already there. Instead of editing it, you need to replace it. If there's a better way of doing this, since I'm not a GIMP expert, maybe somebody could tell me, give me a comment on the blog, or send me an email, and I can recreate this. But for now, simply turning on or off text is going to allow you to make room for new text. So for instance, on the passenger name 1 layer, which is right there on the main name area, you can simply turn that off and make room for yours by going to the toolbox, clicking on the text tool, and choosing a font that you like. You don't need to stick to the fonts that I've used, but I'll just type in Courier, and I'll choose Courier Bold, and maybe size 28 pixels, and then I'll come in here and just click, and you'll see the GIMP text box open up, and that's where I can type in what I want to have in there. And let's say it's John Doe, or if I want to be a little bit more boarding pass-ish, do Doe. Doe John. Boy, my typing skills suck today. Okay, from here, I hit the M key on the keyboard because that'll switch me to the Move tool, which is right here, and that allows me to let me undo that. Control Z allows me to grab this graphic and move it to where I want it, and I can just drop it right there. Now I can select layers by clicking on the layer, and you'll see that when I click on Sydney, it identifies the layer in the layers palette on the right by highlighting text departure 1. If I let go, it'll jump back to the previous layer. So that's one way you can identify what is what. If I click here, it's going to jump all the way down to the bottom and show me that I'm on the white rounded background. And if I wanted to see what it looked like without the white rounded background, I can drop all the way down here to the bottom and turn that off, and that's kind of what it looks like. It kind of gives it a little bit of a negative feel. You could change that white to a different color if you wanted to, but I'm not going to go into editing the full graphic in that much detail. Just gonna recreate another text element to show you how to do that, and then let you run with it. And you can do pretty much whatever you want with this graphic. One of the things you can change down here is the boarding pass. So in order to find where that boarding pass layer is, I'm going to try to click on that, and it shows that the layer is called Text Your Website. So when I unclick, it's going to jump away from that, and you'll lose your place. So just find Text Your Website and highlight it. And obviously I passed it because I'm blind. There it is, Text Your Website. And I can turn that off. Then I can go over to the text tool, and I can add, double clicking, my own website. Close. And then of course I can drag this down to where I want it to be. And at this point I could also change the font to something else, maybe fix to bold. Maybe I want to make it bigger. Etc. So these are the basics of editing this graphic. Once you've edited it, you can save it in any format you want and do whatever you want with it. If this was helpful, go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you're still having problems, send me an email. I'll try to help you out. But we are running out of time, and that last show is on its way. All right, thanks for joining me.